the magician behind Napoli's ascent, how Luciano Spalletti produced the best football in Italy after taking a 2-year break to tend to his farm in Tuscany. His unbeaten squad is aiming to punish Liverpool once more after scoring 50 goals in just 17 games this season. To paraphrase the classic children's tale in honor of the Napoli manager whose club is currently dominating the league, Luciano Spalletti had a farm. He had chickens and ducks on this farm in addition to some donkeys, 2 ostriches, and 3 alpacas. He tended to a continuous stream of tourists while harvesting olives for oil and grapes for wine on this farm, La Rimessa, in Tuscany's soft rolling hills. Spalletti spent 2 years on this farm studying the work of the most successful football coaches and perfecting his own theories about the game while still employed by Inter Milan but replaced by Antonio Conte. As a monk in a convent, he claimed, "I find fresh solutions in the solitude of Rimessa because I'm alone and I touch the depths of my soul." It seems to be time well spent. He has guided Napoli back into the Champions League and into first place in Italy's Serie A since he's come back to sport. With a hat-trick on Saturday, striker Victor Osimhen increased his personal total to 8 in 10. Without breaking the bank, all of this. They do not belong to the top 25 richest football clubs in the world, according to Deloitte. Sporting director Cristiano Gintoli deserves praise for cutting the wage bill by an estimated £10 million by replacing veteran players like Lorenzo Insigne, Kalidou Koulibaly, and Fabian Ruiz with previously unknown gems like Kvichuk Kvaratskhelia from Georgia and South Korea international Kim Min-jae, who was playing in Turkey. Gintoli was the finding of managing director Andrea Chiavelli, who hired him in 2015 after he orchestrated Carpi's 4 promotions from amateur football to Serie A. President Aurelio De Laurentiis, on the other hand, was unquestionably responsible for the hiring of Spalletti. When Spalletti finally came to the end of his gardening leave at Inter and agreed to follow Gennaro Gattuso, De Laurentiis had previously tried to persuade him to move to Naples. Spalletti began the 2021-22 season with 7 straight victories. Spalletti's beloved Fiat Panda was taken just before the 8th game. They triumphed once more, but the streak was broken in Game 9, a scoreless draw at Roma, since his lucky automobile was no longer there. Superstition is rife in Naples. Tuscan Spalletti dismissed it. He was more worried about the club's pursuit for a first Scudetto since the 2-1 in the Diego Maradona era losing its momentum due to important player injuries, namely Osimhen, and the loss of others to the Africa Cup of Nations. It was viewed as a squandered opportunity by the public and the media, including De Laurentiis, and questions about Spalletti's character emerged. He was instructed to go if he wanted to see the missing panda once more by a banner from the Napoli ultras. Behind the 2 Milan clubs, they came in third. At the beginning of this season, Napoli was available at odds as long as 18-1 to win the title, but Spalletti, with the assistance of his coaching staff, has always been a master when it comes to developing players. Always playing a beautiful, attacking style of football. It was while forging this reputation during his first spell at Roma that he came close to managing Chelsea. Spalletti was invited to meet Roman Abramovich on June 2, 2008, at the Four Seasons Hotel George V in Paris. In the lobby, he bumped into his old friend Carlo Ancelotti and asked his old friend, then in charge of Milan, what he was doing there. "What am I doing here?" replied Ancelotti. "What are you doing here?" They both knew the answers. Chelsea appointed Luis Felipe Scolari a week later, but within a year installed Ancelotti at Stamford Bridge, his first step out of Italy on a journey that has seen him coach some of Europe's greatest clubs and add 2 Champions League titles with Real Madrid to the 2 he won at Milan. Ancelotti went on from this Paris rendezvous to become the most decorated coach in the competition. Spalletti returned to Roma, where some believe that flirtation with Chelsea broke the spell of what he was building in the Italian capital. His work did not reach its completion and perhaps he did not fulfill his potential as a coach. At least, not until now at Napoli. With his thoughts refreshed by the tranquility of his life on the farm, he is again producing the best football in Italy, and this could prove his greatest work.